Hi, I'm Perip and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Clank. The sweet, sweet sound of shriekers. If you've ever tried to play Decked Out 2 in Bedrock, you'll have noticed that after a while it gets a bit quiet. Too quiet. The reason for that is that Decked Out 2 uses a Java technique to one-tick sticky pistons. What that is it pushes a block out, but it's so quick the sticky piston retracts without the block. That is until the next time the piston fires and then it pulls the block back. Kind of like a semi-sticky piston. This is a type of T flip-flop which just changes its state on or off each time it's powered. But you can't do that in Bedrock. So whenever a block is pushed with a sticky piston, it always comes back. You could argue that Bedrock's behaving properly and Java isn't, but it's very useful, and useful stuff like this stays in the game. But it just doesn't tend to make it to Bedrock. So why does this matter? The reason your Clank in Decked Out 2 goes quiet in Bedrock is that the sticky pistons eventually pull a wool block. This wool block blocks the signal from the skulk sensor, which detects the player, which goes to the shrieker, which detects that signal and sends the Clank signal to, well, the central Clank system. But why do we want to do all of this in the first place? Well, random player detection is useful. It makes the game unpredictable for the player because they don't know where they'll be detected and where they're safe to run around, which makes it interesting. So you can probably tell by the stink lines coming off me that I'm by a beacon, and this is the beacon that I've been looking for a while, because it's the broken beacon. So this beacon is currently giving me a whole bunch of effects you can see here that is kind of breaking up the dungeon. So I had a quick look in here, and it seems that the problem is related to some water, a waterlogged block down here, which is under the pumpkin Halloween hut, and this seems to have just run through and caused some problems. So I think that's just a waterlogged block up there. That might need to be wool in the future, but I'm just gonna connect this up, and hopefully this will then stop the beacon effects, except for when we want them working. So that seems to have all connected up. Do we have power? We don't have power on this one. So yeah, we need to, maybe that needs a repeater in there somewhere. Maybe there. Let's try and squeeze that in. It's a bit of a tight squeeze going through here. Okay, so that's going up there fine. This line's not on. Did I update the wrong line, or does this need one as well? Let's just... Oh, no, redstone. Always the redstone. Can I find a way through? Yep. Okay, we got power. And then... I have no idea how Tango did this in the first place. Must have gone mad. Luckily, we've got scaffolding. Brilliant. Okay, so I can see that all of those are now covered up as they should be. So that's pretty good. And the effects are gone as well, so that's also good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at, as we mentioned at the beginning, is the random player detectors, a Clank. You can see one over here. And one of the things, and this is a great feature in Bedrock versus Java, another thing to add, is here we've got a sapling, and the way these work is they randomly detect every time these try and grow, even if they don't grow, they send a signal, the observer catches that, and then that in Java that ticks that piston backwards and forward, so blocks or unblocks the shrieker to the skulker. Skulker? Skulk. Sensor. Yeah. Those things. So that's done by wool, which does some occlusion, so the sound can't get through. Now, in Java, that's fine. In Bedrock, I'll show you this other one over here. It's slightly different. It depends what's on top. So you can see here, you might already be able to see trees in Bedrock can grow through a whole bunch of blocks. So you look at this one here, that's gone straight through to above, and if we find a way into there, let's see if there's a way up here. There might be a way to go through the top. I'll find another way into there. But if we go and have a look in there, we'll probably find this tree has grown all the way through and into Decked Out 2, and that's going to make a mess of the dungeon. So yeah, so one of the things we need to fix really, really quickly is stopping these detectors from ruining the dungeon, because that's another thing we're going to have to fix. The more it breaks, the more we're going to have to fix it, and it's something we need to do anyway, because that's part of our Clank system, which goes to the heartbeat that we connected last time. So I'm going to show you a couple of things inside the dungeon, and then I need to go ahead and fix it using a modification, because of course it's not just a slab to stop these trees growing. Everything about that random player detector doesn't work in Bedrock, so we've got to make some more changes. Never ends. Hooray! Okay, so back at the beacon, I think I saw somewhere up here. Well, I might be able to get in. Yeah, let's have a little sneaky look. Yeah. Okay, so this is another one. Yeah, that's making a bit of a mess, and it started... The top of it's broken as well. That's something weird going on, and those mushroom ones look a bit broken as well. So we're going to have a look at those, but yeah. Oh, nope. It looks like there's a few places... let me just... nice to meet you. So it looks like there's a few places we're going to have to, yeah, not just fix the detector, but then we're going to have to go into the dungeon and do some more repairs to fix that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've created a modified version of TangoTek's random player detector that works in Bedrock. I created a video for that. The little tutorial, just if it's interesting. So I won't show how I made it here and the difference. You can go and see that video if you're interested. Now, one of the things I need for one of my designs is copper bulbs, but we're not using 121 yet, and I'm not sure what with everything else in here whether I want to turn on experimental mode. We've already got a lot of cursed redstone in this place. Ow. So I thought, where is there some droppers that we could get for the other design? And what's a really annoying noise that keeps clicking all the time? And it's this. There's a whole bunch of observers, whole bunch of droppers. This is one of the things on Tango's list to take out after he changed his system. So what this used to do is this used to send records very, very quickly. Because I think in Java, they can send it almost in a single tick. So it's instant transfer to the other end to then play music in the jukeboxes and then send them back. Now that's all done in a central system right at the bottom of the world now. So these aren't needed, but it's just a real faff to take them out. But one of the things I do need for the design is each single Clank detector needs 3 droppers and a hopper. So I think this is going to be the first thing. I'm going to leave this bit here so I know this was here. But yeah, this is going to be the first thing I start to rip out. Now, I'm assuming I'm taking out the right line, because otherwise it's going to break some other stuff. But yeah, this is one of the things we could hear inside the dungeon. It was kind of always doing that clicking noise as we're going around. You could sort of hear that ticking. So I'll make it nicer in the dungeon as well. So yeah, I'm gonna rip a bunch of this out, and then I'll be able to yeah, go ahead and sort out those detectors. Smashing up the dungeon. Wow, this thing just goes on for miles and miles. And there's some of the cursed redstone I was mentioning before. So I got to be very careful about what I update around that. So that's floating powered rails. I think that would have been on mushroom blocks before, because that's the main block we're having problems with. So I'm not going to touch anything there. I've already broken a line over by the card system, which I got to work out. I'll have to go and look at the reference version of Java for that. And this is, yeah, there's tons of these. So I need all these, and there's some nice hoppers over here as well, which I need. So this is going to save me a whole bunch of effort of crafting stuff. And also means I can stop this really annoying clicking everywhere we go in the dungeon. But yeah, I think so far I'm up to about 4 stacks of observers. And Yeah, and this is just one line, and there's a return line there. Or this is the return line, and that's the outline. I can't remember which. But yeah, this is all part of the fun. So normally I try and capture as much of this as possible. But I don't think it's going to be very exciting to watch me take out this many observers and droppers. And there's one of the jukeboxes at the end. I'm going to try and do a bit more of this, and then I'll go into a bit of a show of updating the player detectors. But yeah, I just kind of want to show that this is all being done in survival. I'm actually crawling around the dungeon and feeling the pain of the experience, which I think is part of the... I mean, it'd have been easy to just go and sort of create all of this and do it in a very cheaty way, but I think this is much more true to the experience of Decked Out 2, which is a certain level of pain and suffering. No, that went into a speaking of pain and suffering, I just saw that at least one comparator flash there. Okay, so now I've got another job, which is checking that I haven't done that everywhere. Okay. Pain and suffering. Yeah, that's all part of the fun. That's nice and peaceful. No, no, no. Oh. No. 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 Oh, please don't be on anything important. Oh man, that orange line would have had stuff on it. Oh, of course there's stuff down here. What was I saying earlier about pain and suffering? Is this meant to have line? This is probably... No. And I'm out of redstone dust. I'm just going to mark down the quote. The redstone is fine. There's no water on the redstone. The redstone is dry. It's lovely, dry, crispy redstone. Not too crispy, just right. Lovely redstone. It's all good. It's good. It's good. Oh, it's good. Right, I'm going to mark down the coordinates and come back, because I think this is... right. Let's get back to it. So Clank makes the heartbeat go faster, but one thing I've noticed is that it sounds a bit wrong when it is going faster. So if I just turn on the game, what we can do is we can go down to the Clank system, which is somewhere over here. Down here. Every time this pulses, this does the heartbeat, so you can hear it go like that. Now what happens is the fewer of these that are in this hopper, the faster it goes. So if we take some of these out, you can hear that it'll suddenly go really fast. But then there's an audio problem. You can hear that it's cutting out slightly. So we put these back in for now. The reason there's an audio problem is that we can't play the same music disc twice. You can also see there's a bit of a bug here where it's flashing like crazy until the last one of these snowballs gets back up here, and there's a full set in here to stop it. So we got two problems. One is the audio at max clank, and one is it shutting off properly. So we can fix the audio with max clank pretty easily. And we can fix a snowball problem. So if we take all these snowballs and we put them down here, which is where they'll go when we hit max clank. Okay, you can see here there's a reset line when the game restarts. So we can test this just by breaking a bit of dust and putting it back. And this is now resetting over here. this is just pushing all these snowballs back into the system, and they filter up to here. Now, what I noticed was they're not all getting there, and what it uses as a timer is over here. There's a timer based on the items in these hoppers. So I think if we go and look here, we should still have some snowballs. I think I calculated about 6 more would do the trick. So if I put 6 more items into here, and we take all these snowballs out again, and we put them over here. You can hear the horrible noise. We can go and test a reset. So now this is pushing this observer clock, which will empty all these items, and hopefully now with those 6 additional items it'll stay on for a bit longer and clear these out. Aha, so that worked. And I think that was just about enough. And there we go, when we got the 16 that stops, but we've still got the really horrible noise. So the way we're going to fix that, let's go back down to our 16s down here. And we've got the bad noise happening again. So if we just go up here. So this heartbeat system here. So what we're just going to do is just stop it for a second. Like that, and we're going to swap the discs on this side, so you can see they are disc 13, and we're going to swap those for chirp, which has the same sound on it, and then we're going to fall down here. Okay, so we put this in now. It's playing the sound much better. And then down here we can reset it again. Aha, and it stops. So that now works. Okay, so it looks like we got a friend has moved in, looking comfy in there. That's fine. Now as for the Clank random player detectors, I didn't really need to update this one because it didn't have any wool in anyway, so this was an always on one. This is between the boat and the door to the stairs for level 3. I can't tell you how long it's taken to update all these. It's been hours, and it's not just a case of updating this pattern so that it works in Bedrock. It's also trying to fit it in around all the other redstone, adjusting it, moving other lines, moving train lines, and that move mobs. It's a whole thing. But we'll get there. Bedrock will come to the dungeon, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's quite a fun challenge to do, really. So that's it for today, but if you could like, subscribe, comment, it'd be greatly appreciated. And you can see over here, we started to bring back some moral support with Hot Guy himself. But that's it for today. Thank you, and see ya.